to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to be calling, they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server. They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday. And as the old saying goes, it's on. This ain't no drill, it's a real deal. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. And we have some special guests in the studio today. We're going to get to them in just a few moments. Carol, talk to me. What's up? How you doing?
Well, I already told you I was upset because I slapped my cat.
You slapped your cat.
Yeah, you know, I'm very funny.
That's good for about 10 years right there.
No, he was devastated.
I'm turning you into Peter. Peter's going to be on you today.
Well, he probably could. I didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah, you did.
No,
did he go, no!
No, he dug his... No, I think he was in shock.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
He was heartbroken.
Was that the first time you slapped him?
I don't hit animals.
Now, was that with a backhand or straight, right hook? Or what?
I slapped him really hard in his face.
You did?
Well, because his
Did
nail...
he run away from you?
I have that problem with my hands right now,
Yeah.
and his nail was...
Digging in.
And he
huh?
wasn't being mean. He was playing because, he likes to be brushed.
Right.
People keep saying, take a video of this cat that comes to you to get his hair brushed, that cries until you brush it. But sometimes he gets playful in that nail because I got to clip it.
Would you say that your cat is a bit spoiled?
No, I look at spoiled when people use that word and they'll use it with kids. I don't call it spoiled. I call it love.
Okay.
People get confused.
See how you make up excuses for bad behavior?
No, it's not an excuse. I notice people use that word. They go,
Yeah.
"That's spoiled brat." Now,
Well,
if I
yeah.
see a kid laying on the ground, like I think I showed you the one was it in a store or something? They took the video game and he's screaming and kicking. Now, yes, that's a brat.
Well, a brat is one thing, but being spoiled means that
No,
mom or
it's
dad
not
or...
spoiled. Do you like your hair combed?
Not really. I ain't got much to comb.
Okay,
so
but if you did, you would like your hair. He likes his hair combed.
Yeah, well, that's cool, but that's that's a form of spoiling.
No,
It's building up an expectation.
I don't agree.
Well, okay.
I have long-haired cats. If
Yeah.
I didn't brush their hair, it'd be all over my house.
Oh, no question. I'm not saying you shouldn't brush their hair. I'm not saying that at all. I think you should. But when you do it, and then there's an expectation from the animal or child, and then they're spoiled to expect that.
No,
That's
when
not a
you
negative
have a
thing.
child and they go to school, aren't you going to brush your hair?
Well, that's different.
Why is it different?
It's a totally different.
Because that's a child
That's
and
called
mine's
grooming.
a cat.
That's called proper grooming before
I
you
don't
go out
call
in
it.
public.
I don't even call it grooming. I call it getting my 3 cats ready for the day.
But if you have your cat laying on your lap and you just sit there rubbing it and combing it and
my cats
pampering
don't
it,
lay
that's
on
spoiling your
now.
cat.
Wait, my cats don't sit on laps.
Oh,
They don't
you
like
got
to.
some weird cats.
I do, but they do like their hair done.
All right. Well,
And
well,
it's funny when people
you're a
see
hair
my
expert,
animals,
so-
they go,
yeah, you're
"You
a
got
hair
the most
expert.
beautiful." But even dogs, I brush their hair. Now, Lee's telling you this. Ask him if he doesn't give these 2 little dogs baths once in a while in his house.
No, that's got nothing to do with that. That ain't spoiling. That's called getting that funk off the dog. Cleaning that sucker up.
Yeah, but don't you feel sorry when you see that gook stuck in their eyes and
Yeah.
people will rip it off? It's like, why do you rip it off? Why don't you take a hot rag, soak it, and not hurt the animal.
I agree on that.
Because I'm going to tell
That's the
you
way to do
something.
it.
You don't have to train an animal to attack somebody trying to hurt you. You give that animal love, you don't have to train him shit because you know what? He's going to jump that person when they go to hurt you.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's
You
called
do
good
not
training.
have to train them.
Yeah, that's true. Let's bring in Chris. Chris, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Boom, shakalaka.
There we go. That's how we rock it up.
How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Well, that's how you do it. Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, Lee? How you doing, Carol?
I'm good.
Well, you know what we're going to have to
Carol,
do here is we got some guests in
Yeah.
the studio, and I got to make it so they can hear you.
Okay.
Or anybody else here.
Oh,
But
that
go ahead.
sounds
Keep
good.
talking. Let me get that straight.
What were you going to ask me?
Oh, I was going to say, I had to say, when you talking about earlier with the cats just now, spoiling your cats is a good thing because you're showing them attention. I
Yeah.
spoiled my cats, and I had like 3 cats at one point, throughout the years.
And you like
So you
them,
could spoil
huh?
them. Yeah, I love those. I love those cats, man. They're fantastic.
I just love animals. If I had a ranch, I'd probably have animals all over the ranch.
I can't do that. There's too much animal crap going on right there. I can't
Well,
do that. But
if you have
The
a lot of
animal
money, you
ranch.
can pay someone to help you clean it up.
Well, that's true.
that's true too. But like Lee was saying earlier about, that funk, man. That's too funkified for me. Some of these animals, man. No offense.
You know, though, that's the good thing about a cat. If you keep their litter box clean,
Yeah.
you'll never smell them at all in your house. Now,
No,
a dog, if you don't get
no,
that
that's
little
true.
gland squeezed, you're going to smell that dog. See, a lot of people aren't aware of that they have a gland that you have to get it squeezed.
Wait a minute.
That's where the smell comes from.
That sounds a little perverted to me. I mean,
No,
Yeah,
people
what kind of
do.
gland you
Anybody
talking
with an
about, Carol?
animal,
where's this gland located?
it's back by
Carol?
their butt.
No. He's going to be
I
a
ain't going
funky
back
ass
there.
cat.
Oh, no,
Funky
anytime you
dog.
take your animal to be groomed,
Yeah.
they have a gland that they squeeze it. Otherwise, she knows what I'm talking about.
You know what?
Otherwise, your house stinks.
That's TMI. That's too much information.
Does-
for me.
do you guys have
I ain't
pets?
squeezing no dog's gland.
No, you don't
No.
squeeze it. You pay someone to. You go with a groomer.
Yeah.
Because remember, I told you I'm going to learn how to groom, and that's one of the things I've got to learn.
Yeah. All right.
That
well,
sounds like a line. That sounds like a pickup line in an old folks' home. Hey, baby, squeeze my gland.
That's funny that you guys don't realize that, but maybe you have dogs that only stay outside, but
No.
dogs that live inside do need that gland squeezed.
I've never heard
See,
that
there's
before.
a woman in here. What's your name again?
Edwina.
She's shaking her head yes because she knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
Haven't you ever went in someone's house and it stinks?
She attacking.
well,
us when
yeah,
we
smell
get
like dog or cat.
Well,
or,
they don't
you know,
have to smell like
butt.
dog.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah. Or the couch smells like feet and ass. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to. My house, you
Feet
will
and
never
ass.
know there's an animal in that house
Mm.
because I clean their litter continuously. I clean it twice a day. I don't let it sit for the whole week.
Well, okay. That's enough of cat litter and all of it. Let's
Yeah.
get to the business at hand here and welcome our special guests. We have 2 gentlemen that I have met before that's been on this network at least a couple times. What, 2 or 3 times now?
yeah, about 3 times.
Yeah. And they have a very interesting story, and I'm going to introduce them in a short form and then allow them to talk a little bit about who they are and the experiences that they've had in their lives. And it's an awesome story or stories. And these 2 gentlemen have turned their lives completely around in a very positive way and doing some good in the hood today. So let me welcome Cedric and Judson, I'm sorry, my bad. How you
That's all
guys
right,
doing
Lee.
today?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm fantastic, man. Alive and kicking. Glad to be here. Just celebrated a birthday on Sunday.
Oh,
I'm old as hell, and I'm happy about it.
You're not old as hell. You're only old as you feel.
I'm well.
Thank
Some days
you.
I feel kind of old, but it's all good. I'm gonna keep
All
on
good.
trucking.
Yes, sir.
So, how you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm well.
I'm well. He's taking it easy.
Here on the guy with the hat on. That's Cedric, cool Cedric. So, Cedric, tell us a little bit about yourself, your past, and what are you doing today?
My name is Cedric Milligan, and my past is similar from Los Angeles street gangs and being a young entrepreneur mixed in both of those at the same time.
Okay.
Trying to figure out the balance of should I be a businessman or should I be a gang member? But in the process of all of that, I stayed a businessman, and at this point in my life, I'm out right now trying to motivate young people, kids from the age of 13 and down, not to even have a thought process of wanting to be a gang member, but wanting to be a business person.
Right.
And, just grassroots, that is mainly my object these days. A lot of people want to help people that get out of jail more than they want to help the kids not become part of the system of why
right.
they went to jail in the first place. So I'm just trying to grab the people right there right now, the young people.
Right. Because you've already been down that road.
Yes.
And it's not a pretty picture.
No, it's not a pretty picture. A lot of kids these days, they don't even know why they want to be part of a gang, but a lot of us want to be part of something.
Right.
But we should be part of something that's more positive, that creates a better future for yourself, instead of you having to get locked up and then trying to get out of jail and make a better person or future for yourself, which is not easy once you get out of being incarcerated.
Right. What do you find is the biggest struggle for when you're communicating with the youth here in Los Angeles? What are they looking for?
What they're looking for is what I've always been saying for the last 15 years is employment. Most kids wouldn't be part of any type of street gang or any type of criminal activity if there was more finances and jobs and opportunities for them to actually be doing something creative in their life. It's a lot of lost time out there. So the kids don't have anything to do. There's no more after-school programs, park programs. They just cut everything loose. So now the kids are just running around like, what should we do? Well, let's do what they used to do. Gang bang and do crime. Because nobody is showing them another way.
When you say there's no after-school programs, they pay for those now, correct?
You know what? The LA Unified School District just basically cut it out.
And it's going to get worse with this Betsy woman in.
Yeah, it basically just got cut out. But that was a plan because prisons have grown at least 90% over the last 15 years far as a profit. There's so many corporations that actually is making money in these prisons to where if they didn't have the prisons, you would have more people and youth people having jobs instead of having to go to jail to get a job.
Now, do you think now that they've made privatized prisons legal again, you think they're going to look for reasons to put more people in jail just so they can get that free labor?
Oh, yes. I mean, private prisons has been the worst thing that America could have allowed to happen, because you have one individual that only opened up this prison because he know JCPenney's, Macy's, Pep Boys, or some corporation need some particular product made under a cheap labor without having to send it across the country or sending it to Mexico or something. So they make laws to imprisonate the young people and adult people so we can become that new free labor.
What do you think should happen right now? If you could wave a magic wand and say, okay, this is what I need, or 5 things that you need to support your efforts, what would that be?
Capitalism, money, a building, some educated teachers, and some elder people that can give us some of the past to help us with the future, and mainly just money.
Right.
Because if I could get the money, then I could open up my own schools, not schools rather, but more like a after school type program for young people to come develop themselves and learn life issues and learn how to be a better person without going down the wrong route. No one is funding anything anymore.
Are you set up as a 501c3, a nonprofit?
Not yet, but I really don't want to be a nonprofit because nonprofit is going to dig into much of what I'm trying to do positive.
Right.
They'll take a lot of that away from me because it's all about what they really want, even though they're giving me the money and I have the idea.
Right.
I still got to follow a lot of their guidelines.
Okay.
So I would rather...
Some restrictions.
It's a lot of restrictions. So I would rather do it myself.
Okay.
By not getting sponsorships, but just people putting in money every week into a pool. And at the end of the year or 2 years, we may have $60,000, maybe $100,000. And then we could go from there and get our own building and pay the staff and pay people that we need.
Right. So, Judson.
Yes, sir.
Now, your story, is it much different than Cedric?
My story is way different than Cedric's.
Okay.
In a lot of instances, and then some, it's the same. Basically, my name is Judson Baycott. I'm an original founding member of Westside Crips, started by Stanley Tookie Williams in 1970 in St. Andrews Park. I was the first Crip, along with my crime partners, to go to prison on a gang-related murder of the Robert Ballou murder in 1972 that happened at the Hollywood Palladium. I served 12 years on a crime that I had nothing to do with. People always question me, did you have something to do with it? No. I've done the time for it. I might as well tell the truth. I was there. Of course, I was there. But did I actually participate? No. Did I see the murder go down? Yes. Did I have anything to do with it? No. But just so happened they needed some scapegoats, and Crips is just starting to get really violent in 1972. And I just unfortunately happened to be one that got caught up in that net.
Right.
And I served 12 years for a crime that I didn't do. Now, do I have any regrets about my past? Of course. I have a lot of regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Are there some things that I would love to change? Of course. There are a lot of things I would like to change.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things I would keep the same, too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot I would like to change. For one, I would never have become a gang member, knowing now in foresight how, looking back at it and seeing how deadly and violent it became.
Right.
Because when we first started, it was about protecting our neighborhoods.
Mm.
It was about protecting it from the things that's happening now.
Right.
You know, and we evolved into urban terrorists because the definition of a terrorist is a person or thing that causes fear or extreme fear or controlled through intimidation. Who controls through intimidation?
Yeah.
And fear, Crips and Bloods, any gang. Because if you did not control through intimidation and fear, you're not going to be a gang. You're not going to exist very long.
Right.
Because another gang going to come in and take your territory over. Why? Because they're going to administer fear and intimidation.
Right.
So
It's all about control.
It's all about control. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. People say, well, why is it? It is what it is. Look at the definition of terrorists. We're urban terrorists.
And it's no different than the legal guys that are doing it, whether it's the police officers,
They're
the
terrorists.
Government.
you know, our congressional members. They're terrorizing people through fear, putting out
intimidation.
negative messages and all of that.
Yes. And also, Lee, let me put this in. Now, everyone talks about the police department. They're corrupt. No. Crips are not corrupt. The name Crip is not corrupt. The police department is not corrupt. It's the individuals who control those institutions who are corrupt. So, you know, my thing today is try to get that Crip unity and Crip love back together, stop the violence among ourselves.
Right.
Because, for one, going to someone like Cedric said, it's all about the youth.
Mm-hmm.
If you're already in the gang, there's no sense of going to you because you've already made up your mind.
Right.
Now, about getting out the gang and stopping, no, you're not. Because, for one, you got friends, or you might have joined the gang for protection. You know, there's numerous reasons people join gangs.
Sure.
Okay, now, it's not the institution that is bad. It's the people who control the institution who are corrupt and take it to a different level.
Now, there are some gang members that have turned to a different direction and become more positive. There's a restaurant run by, what is it, the Homeboys?
Yeah.
Okay, that now, were they Bloods, Crips, or a different gang?
That's
or
a Spanish gang.
No,
Spanish gang.
Yeah,
okay.
that's Hispanic. Homeboys are Hispanics. See, there's a I hate to say it, but the city of Los Angeles looks at Crips, Bloods, and Hispanic gangs in three different lights. It seems as though Crips and Bloods, who are predominantly 99.9% black, are left on the back burner when it comes to giving out federal funds, when it comes to giving out money to help kids stay out of gangs. It always goes to the Hispanic community first. It never comes west of that, of the 110. It
Right.
never comes west of the 110. And it doesn't
Interesting.
go to the east side. Because if you look at it, Homeboys Incorporated was started with city money.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
It was funded by a grant. And now it's other people are adding money to it because it's a good thing.
Right.
You know, it's not a bad thing now.
Right.
It's a good thing. But why not bring it to the black communities where we really need it?
Well, and I totally subscribe to that thought. But sometimes you have to. I mean, come on. as people of color, we've always had a taller hill to climb. And I've always said, don't let that stop us. So we got to climb that hill. So maybe our approach has to be a little bit different and not rely on, because there's a price to pay when you rely on funding from some other institution or organization or government or whatever, because they're going to have what? Control. So we as a people who want to do better, want to grow, want to be positive and bring something to our community, we just need to do it.
Yes.
Start out small if need be. If you want to start a little restaurant like the Homeboys or whatever, a computer repair business, okay, cell phone repair. There's 1,000 different things that we can do that won't take $1 million to start it up. But let's get it started.
But the one problem is, how are we going to do that? Because you're not about to come out your pocket today. Jets is not going to come out his pocket today, and I'm not coming out my pocket today, because on the reality of it, we all don't have enough money to just say, hey, Jetson, I need 500. Oh, Cedric, I need 500. I need 500 from you. You're like, well, I got bills to pay.
Well, that's true. But there are people out here in our community that do have $500 or $100 or $50 or whatever. Just like you said earlier, you want to, make it so people can donate to your cause. And that's what we got to start there. So look at the political campaigns that have been going on, in recent time. Like Obama, he was saying, hey, give me $3.
Right.
Right. You got more people that can afford $3 than you got that can do $300 or $500. So you need a lot of $300 to reach your goal, but it can be done.
It can be done.
We need to put a business plan together and execute.
Be done, Lee, but the problem is, while I was in prison, let me just throw this out there. While I was in prison, this older cat. I went to San Quentin in 1973. I was the youngest person there in 1973. I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
And it happened I got to Quentin right at
the same
George
age.
Jackson thing was going down.
Yeah.
Okay, now this older brother took me up under his wings. For what particular reason, I don't know. We used to walk the yard. He said, youngster, check this out. We used to talk about blacks. He said, if a black man go out and ask the black community, say we need $10 million to build this school over here for we could educate our kids. He said, now take the Jewish people. If they say the same thing, he said
it's going to get
they
done.
need $10 million. He said in 10 days they'll have the $10 million.
That's right.
It'll take us 10 years to get to $10 million.
Or maybe
But
never.
now are
Or
the
maybe
Jewish
even
people
longer.
funding that?
It's not so much other people.
Well, yeah,
Jewish
because they
people,
believe
they
in
get funded.
themselves.
But
That's
just what
the
Lee,
ticket
that's
they
the
believe in
that's
themselves.
what I was
Yeah.
just getting at.
And they support each other.
They support
that's
each other,
what I-
and they
ourselves.
believe in themselves. And we as black
That's what I
folks,
was-
since Crips and Bloods have come into existence, we become so divisive that it's a shame.
Yeah.
You have Crips, or you have Bloods. It might be the brother. One brother might be a Blood. One might be a Crip. They can't function together.
Wow.
Now I got a friend, got a cousin that's a Blood, but he's a Crip. He went to the family reunion. Now, I know him personally. I know him good, and I know his demeanor. He didn't start anything. But the Blood kept calling him out his name and, disrespecting him. And he tried to walk away. But the Blood cousin had some of his friends with him, and it escalated into a big fight. And it split the family right down the middle. Now they don't have any family reunions anymore because one supports the Blood, one supports the Crip.
But see, you know where the real breakdown, the love for self and family died.
Yes.
And the love went towards an outside the family organization, which was more important than keeping your family together. And one of the things I constantly say, you got to love yourself first.
Of course.
And then you love your family member or members. Then you love your block, your neighborhood, your county, your city, your state, your country. It's got to start with you first. It's got to start inside your address. That's got to be paramount. And when the shit hits the fan, as the old saying goes, family is first.
But you know what?
You got to be there for each other.
Latinos do the same thing because my daughter's married to Latins. And you have the Cypress gangs and you have avenues. They don't cross over either. You go over to Eagle Rock and those areas. Now you got the white people moving in, buying up all their houses and doing the same thing that they're doing in Venice now, taking from people that can't afford to live different places.
Yeah.
But you see the same thing there.
And it's not so much. My thing is, because I wrote a book previously, and the name of the book,
Yeah, let's talk about the book.
The Evolution of America's Homebred Terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Hold that over here on the side so that.
Where can they buy that?
Changing Culture. The book can be bought on Amazon.com, or you can call 323-750-93
3592.
3592.
Okay.
750-3592. Area code 323. And then you can order it over the phone or from Amazon.com. If you order it over the phone from the bookstore, you'll get it quicker than Amazon.com.
Okay.
And
tell us a little bit about the book and what inspired you to do it.
What really inspired me to write the book was a friend of mine. He passed away, called Sidney Birdsong. One partner I was in, Quentin, older gentleman. We was talking one day when I came home in '83 because he lived around the corner from me. He said, "Man, you have a lot of information to put out." He said, "You need to write a book and put out all that information. Why you started being the Crip, who started it, because there's been a lot of misinformation put out about who started Crips, why it started, where it started. People think it's not important. It is important to know your roots and where you come from.
Absolutely.
Because I'm trying to, my thing is now with the young Crips, trying to tell them, hey, when we first started, it was all about togetherness, unity. We didn't have any infighting among Crips. Mm-hmm. If we had a problem, it was a meeting call. We meet at St. Andrews Park. Either you fought it out, or you shook hands, or you just said, we're going to forget about it. When you left that park, there was no violence, or Crip on Crip violence. Mm-hmm. And now today, they don't have the discipline mechanism built in as we did, because there's so many gangs, and each gang has a different mindset. Each gang has a different territory, and each territory and mindset of those gangs are different.
Well, Jackson, really, you true and you right, but what really changed the demographics of the mindset was you guys didn't have that high-powered drug called cocaine.
Yeah,
y'all had drugs, but you didn't have that high-power billion-dollar industry drug called cocaine that rocked the 80s so hard that, it made everybody become an enemy to each other, because at that time, still economics wasn't good for blacks. We coming out the 70s, and they hit us with this cocaine, and we still are like struggling people. Where did everybody gravitate to? You know what I mean? Mothers actually pushed their sons out to go get that dope money when it hit the 80s, because a lot of them needed that money.
Yeah.
They had 5 kids, welfare, a whole lot going on. So that money wasn't just a negative to some families, it was a positive.
But you know what's sad? Wasn't it the white man giving it?
Yes,
bringing
it was.
into this country.
Yeah.
He
Which
did
they
it.
still do.
Of course.
Well, he did that coming the 80s because you got to, out of the 70s, it was a lot of black people on black power. How can we better ourselves? The government, the world itself said we need that not to happen. We can't let them better themselves, because if they do, we already know that they invented the street lights, the heart surgeries, everything in this world they invented from this microphone that I'm speaking through right now, through all of this. So they don't want our minds to be creative anymore. So they had to do something to downplay our minds and make us go after each other. And when that drug came, we just all went after each other, jacking each other every day, it just became a problem. And we haven't yet got out of that. We're getting out of it a little bit, because you don't have the drugs on the streets like you used to have it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that rock cocaine no more like it was. So a lot of young people are not going to even experience that.
Good.
That's
good.
They're not going to even experience that whole, I got to sell drugs to help my mama pay rent.
Yeah. Well, Cedric,
But don't you think they're trying to, because minorities have become powerful too, but don't you think right now they're trying to bring us all back down and take us backwards? If you pay attention to the new laws and what they're trying to do.
Of course. Let me just say this. Now, we're talking about all these different problems. Okay, let's look at it this way. Now, during the civil rights movement, right before it happened, why was the civil rights movement formed? To help better the economy for blacks, to keep other ethnic groups from hanging blacks, Jim Crow laws and whatnot. We banded together and we fought a just fight. And what happened? 1965, we had the Civil Rights Bill. Now, that same principle can be applied to Crips and Bloods. Now, because if they were tired back in the 40s and the 50s of us being hanged, they should be tired in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s of us killing each other, causing self-genocide.
Right.
Because for one, it's a fact. Since 1982, because I'm writing a second book, this is the first fact I looked up. Since 1982 to now, there's been 25,000 deaths caused in the city of Los Angeles.
Just in L.A.
Just in L.A., they contributed to gang violence. Now, even if that fact is 50%, that is 50% off. Still too many.
Right.
It's still 12,000 too many.
Right.
So, as a community, we need to get together. We need to get our act together.
What about the community that we talking about has another bigger problem? Is not to go after you people like this, but excuse me, you church folks. What part of the community is they playing when it comes to doing for the community? And you got 10 churches on one block.
Yeah.
Oh, they're opening restaurants and you pay to eat there. And you sit according to, because I've seen this because of celebrities I do, they go to that church on Crenshaw.
Oh, faithful.
They sit according to how much money you pay,
Yeah.
not by who comes to church first.
She just hit it.
that's
You
West Angeles.
sit by how much
money you contribute
Who
each
wants
Sunday?
to go to
Yeah.
a damn church like that? I
Your
mean,
seat
come
is
on.
bought-
For,
paid for.
for a fact, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Reverend Price, 79th in Vermont. You know what? The first 5 rows of his church at one time, I don't know if he's still doing it, but you couldn't sit there in the first 5 rows unless you gave $1,000 each
Or
Sunday.
pay for his Rolls Royce.
Yeah, pay for his Rolls Royce and the big old diamond his wife had on her hand that could feed a black community.
Reverend McClendon, the same thing on the Harvest when he was on Adams and Crenshaw, because my kid went to school with them, and they bothered me because she would have big diamonds, and her kids always had like $100. Now we're talking elementary school.
Yeah.
$100 bills in there, and she'd say, "When you come into our church," I'd look at her, and go, "So what? I can buy you a diamond?"
Yeah, and like
Because that's how I looked at it. And then he was having sex with half of the young girls.
And it's one thing about them reverends. I'm
But
glad he
small
brought this
churches
up.
don't do this.
Yeah, the reverends. Aren't they supposed to save souls and lives as well?
Outside of the community, inside the community
So
that
why,
they're in.
you saving souls, but why not save lives?
Right.
You saving souls after, basically after they're gone. But why not save a life while he's there?
Well, it's all, in the churches today, and it's not just here in L.A., it's all over the country.
It's all over the country.
It's a big business. And it's just like the Catholic Church, and I'm going to call them out. The Catholic Church itself is probably the biggest corporation in the world.
It is the
Well, they're
biggest
mafia
corporation.
backed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's all about that revenue and the lifestyle that the head people that's running these organizations, how they're going to live. If I had one of these mega churches, the Church of Hubba Bubba Lee, do why did it, then I would give that money back to the people. I would have a church bank set up for loans. If you need help getting your bills paid. I mean, if they're going to contribute to the church, then what is the church doing to put back into that community?
The reverends wearing $1,000 suits each Sunday.
Yeah.
Well,
Paying
I'm gonna say-
their car notes, like somebody said, the Rolls Royce car notes, the house, the big old $1 million homes.
They don't need
telling a realtor. I had a
Yeah.
client. She was the biggest realtor in Beverly Hills, and McClendon came to her, and he wanted to buy a house up off of Sepulveda. I'm trying to think of that. It's $1 million homes, and she looked up and she said, "Well, he can't. He doesn't have the money." And I started laughing. I said, "So what did he tell you?" She goes, "He said, well, wait till Easter. I'll have it then." I said, "Yeah, because he does a big thing downtown. He makes
Right.
millions that day. That'll buy his home."
Yes.
He isn't thinking about the people that go there and being hungry and that. He doesn't care.
I'll say one thing, not to knock the whole church thing and the ministers itself, but what I have noticed over years, it's not the diamonds that you see in the cars and the houses that these preachers have. They're not asking for it. You really got to remember that. The people, when people sometimes feel like someone is uplifting them in just a little bitty way,
Right.
people give gratification to give things to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People
Right.
pay more money because they feel that you're helping them.
Right.
Now, I can sit here and say, now, I don't really know or think that the preacher is really helping everybody, but some people he is.
Oh, yeah, no
'Cause
question.
I do attend church, but I attend church for one reason, just for the pastor. Because his message did give me something when I left. So that's the only reason why I went. But when it came to the people of the church, I had nothing to do with them because they had nothing to give to me. But I noticed the people love to give and feel special. Oh, I gave $1,000 to the church today.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard a
okay,
lady,
so?
I heard a lady say one time, she said, yeah, I give a lot of money to my church. She said, I want my pastor to look good.
Like I'm
What?
saying,
What?
they
Look
really
good.
do.
I
But they
can't
really
think
do
like
want their
that.
pastor
No.
to look good.
No.
Yeah.
They want his hair to be cut right,
Yeah,
'cause he's representing them.
Ride in that Rolls Royce.
You mean it's press and curl?
Hey.
Yes, okay, now I can understand that they want their pastor to look good and whatnot. But then again, look at the pastor. Let's look at the pastor. Now you getting all this money, and you're a religious man, and you teaching out the Bible. You
Right.
should say, no, all this money I can't do. I have to give back.
Absolutely.
I have to give back. Just
Oh.
don't because
Remember
somebody
what Jesus
give you a
did?
lot of money, a certain person, that person has to have the moral responsibility to say what is right and what is wrong.
That's right.
You know, it's because I'm getting all this money doesn't mean I have to take all this money and buy suits with or
Yeah.
homes with.
Right.
Take some of this money, do like you said, give back to the common people in the community that support the church, that can't support the church with $100 every Sunday, who can't support the church by saying, okay, I'm going to give you $1,000 on the mortgage. No, the ones that come and support the church spiritually.
That's right. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's all about spiritual anyway, spirituality.
So now
Help them.
That's right. Now let's roll back, and Cedric, I'm glad you brought up the lack of commitment and support, and that the churches in the various communities are not doing. Now, some are doing some things, and
Yeah.
they go to meetings and rallies and say, you know, boop, 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 let's do this, let's do that. But then they walk away, they go away, and they have a nice meal, and and that's it. That's the end of it many times. Some are out there doing some good stuff.
Well, think about this though. You're right. Some of them are doing some good ones.
They
There's
are.
a pastor across the street from me, Bishop Turner. He does a community day every year for the people, give out food, different things like that, right? But when it comes to the real reason why they can't come to the community, like we stated earlier, it's government funded.
Yeah.
They're controlled. They can only do so much. If they decided that we want to go to the community where the gang members are, the poor people is, and try to get them in line or, help them, that church is going to be closed next week. Because soon as
funding will go away.
the funding is going away, your whole nonprofit, everything is about to disappear.
Yeah.
So they're actually chained in so many essence. You know what I'm saying? I don't bash them too hard, but it's the organization that they're building under.
It's the system.
The system.
Yeah.
Far as just like what we were saying about the prisons and
Yeah.
any other
Yeah.
system, that's trying to help people, you're very limited.
Yeah.
That's why I said I want to do it with myself and other people that feel the same way with our own money.
Right. Like minds, and you
Now,
pull
see-
your monies together for the right reasons.
Right reasons.
Not self-benefits.
I went to a church with one of my friends, and they'll rent a different place. The all the people support that church. They keep the church together. They don't get funding. They keep the church together, and I enjoyed
That's a good
that
thing.
church when I went with her, because the first time I went, it was in just some regular building. The next time it was at another church that let him rent it for the day. And that church I enjoyed. I don't enjoy big churches. I don't want somebody to tell me, because I figure if I get there first, I'm getting there early so I can sit up front.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to go to a church and say, well, you only gave this much this week, so you can't sit. I've seen celebrities that aren't making the big money, and all of a sudden they can't sit up in those front seats. They have to move further back.
Yeah.
I'm against that.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not a
think
real
I have
church.
friends that go to churches that are very small, and they support their own churches.
Yeah, support your
Well,
church.
they feel that draws in the people by having, you got to remember, American people like to gravitate to something. And if you could tell somebody, well, I go to this particular church, or
That's where all the stars hang out.
and this particular star is there,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
They're gonna
I mean,
go.
they're going to go. So
Yeah.
it's a bait thing just to get people in,
Yeah.
almost
You're
like
right.
marketing.
Yeah.
But
It
we
is
kind of
marketing.
look at
It
it
is
like
marketing.
it's
Yeah.
marketing,
It
but
is
we look at it like, oh, that's wrong. But
Yeah.
no, to them they're saying this is how we gonna get souls in here because they so wanting to be around a celebrity. If
Right.
he pull up in a limousine,
Yeah,
so
right.
let him sit in the front row of the church.
Right. So they can be seen,
Oh, they pay big money.
and they
believe
pay
me.
to be in that position.
And little people
Thank
go
you.
come
Yeah.
to that church every Sunday because they know
Thank
this
you.
particular star is gonna be there. He may bring
Yep.
a friend,
Yep.
and they may get a picture with him at church.
Pimping in the pulpit.
Pip it in the pulpit.
That's what it's about. That's what. And then
What-
you know,
what- you know, I'm a very solution-oriented person. I'm always thinking about, okay, we can very easily sit around and identify all the problems that we have in our neighborhoods, around the world, whatever. But let's work on the solutions. We have to put together a plan that we can execute. And it may be little bites, but making progress little by little to bring about the change that's necessary for the betterment of our communities. And that's a blanket statement. I don't care if you're black,
White,
Latino,
brown.
white, Asian.
Yeah.
The same principle, the concept applies to all people. This is called the United States of America. And I subscribe to that united part. Okay? We have to be united. And you two gentlemen have gone through hell and high water, paid the price for the activities that you've been involved in. Now you're trying to do some good. I support your efforts. I applaud. I'm excited about what you're trying to do. But what I want to try to instill in your hearts right now is do not give up, okay? Because there's so much that you can do as an individual, and you can bring people in with like mind that think exactly the way you do. There's millions of people out here with the same mindset. They've identified the problems. We have to unite like other people, like the Jewish community. I'll give you a story. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, and there was a street called Church Street, and all the businesses on that street were owned by Jews, okay? My daddy worked for one of those families. My daddy was a butler, okay? My dad served this Jewish family as a butler. And any time that he needed anything for his family, they helped him out, okay? Because he was a good person. He was loyal. He was dedicated. He took care of their kids and their family members and all of that. Here's the bottom line. There were 3 brothers and 2 sisters in this Jewish family. They all had retail outlets, all of them. And from time to time, one of them would fail, and they have to close up. You know what they did? They brought him into the successful business, made sure he had an income so he could take care of his family, his needs, and sooner or later, 3 blocks down the road, he opened up another shop of some kind, whether it was a pawn shop, a clothing store, selling wigs, whatever.
They need to stack that revenue back up.
Exactly. Okay, so we got to learn how to do that in our communities and supporting each other, wrap our arms around each other. Don't be envious. Don't be jealous. Don't, do that talk down thing. Talk him, oh, yeah, he's a dumbass. He failed again. No. Lift him up.
lift him up. I agree.
Don't
too.
put your foot on his throat. Lift him up. Pull him up. Say, hey, man, come on over here. Yeah, I ain't got much, but I don't want to see your family starve. So come on in here and do a little something around here, and let's keep it rolling.
Well, too, it's like, what was the guy's name? Bernard? I noticed the first thing he did after he's here, he mentioned, oh, I do this. I'm just going to make it. I'm not sure. He said, I can paint. I can do this. Well, it's funny. Sometimes to create revenue, what he's doing is the right way. Because when I started my business, I decided I wanted to I couldn't get in special effects because I'm a woman. They wouldn't let me in. I decided, why is it only women of color wearing hair? I can go in and put hair on white women. And I was smart to think that way because when I first did it, I did people for free to get free advertising.
Yeah,
Then
get
I
your name
started
out
doing
there.
people, I did them reasonable prices, but then my prices started increasing. I started getting the movie business. It's the same thing with anything. It's like
Gotta
Delancey
start somewhere.
Foundation. I don't know if you know or aware of who they are.
No.
It's an
Delancey?
organization, Delancey,
Up in
yes, on
Frisco?
Vermont.
Yeah, it started in Frisco.
Okay, remember when they first started? They were just a small
Small
little
building.
group of men
Yeah.
called they got rehab money, but they took and built that, and now they're out here. They're here. They're everywhere. They buy up old hotels.
Yep.
They let people come in that are getting out of prisons and that, but they all have something they can do. So they create these businesses, and they've made it bigger and bigger. 'Cause,
What's what you got to do? Look at the ants. Okay.
yeah,
they-
I have
they
them
work
in my
together.
home.
Yeah, they work together.
You know, I tried to start something, say, 20 years ago, and I came up with a great name, too. You guys may think it doesn't. It's called Herbalife. Now, a lot of people may take the words out of, marijuana smoke or something like that. But
See, I didn't
really,
think like
the,
that.
the initials of that stood for having an ever-relieving belief in life. If you don't believe, you ain't going to get nowhere in life
That's true.
because you just don't believe.
Right.
You have no belief in yourself.
Yep.
Then you have other people that want to doubt you. I always told somebody, if somebody told you,
Those haters.
you didn't do this good or you didn't do that, only thing you got to tell them is, did you even try?
Right.
Thank you.
That's right.
While you trying to say what I didn't accomplish, I tried to accomplish it. It's a lot of things going to take years for us to actually perfect.
Right.
But long as every day, every second,
Got to get out there and try.
we got to try.
Absolutely.
So you can't knock that I failed.
That's right.
Just
okay.
like that he tried. And you know what? What made you want to try is what they should be asking. So they can have that belief in their own self and like, yeah, okay, I think I can try that. It ain't that hard.
Right.
No, it's not that hard. But people in the world will make things seem so difficult, and some people will just never even try.
Yeah.
When once they do it, they be like, I did not know this was so easy. I've been all these years passing this up.
That's right. And sometimes, when you start something or engage in an idea, a concept, a new business or whatever, and you stump your toe, you got to put a Band-Aid on and keep on rolling. You don't let a little stumble here and there, a little bump or bruise kill your passion.
No.
Right.
Don't lose the passion for what you're trying to do. That's what will keep you moving and be committed. It'll make you work 20 hours a day. I know because I'm speaking from experience. I came from a small town in Virginia, and I had a dream of being a radio personality. Didn't have any idea how in the hell I was going to do it. I was inspired by people I heard on the radio. And I said, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And
So that gave you a belief.
yeah. I had a desire, a burning, a passion for it. So I did everything that I could. I involved myself. I started going to the radio station and meeting people and begging for an opportunity to come in just to hang out. Let me answer the phone.
Right,
Let me go
right.
pick up the newspaper. Whatever. Back in those days, it was called being a gopher.
Go. Yeah.
Okay,
go.
today it's an intern.
I guess Gopher was too animal-like.
Yeah,
Did gophers get paid?
No.
Hell no.
See,
no.
and interns did for a minute, but now they don't want to pay interns.
Well, they got a better shot than I did in 1965.
Oh, yeah,
You
they
know?
got a whole better shot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even get tickets to a concert. Nothing.
Oh, you'll get the
But I
tickets
didn't
now.
care.
Because
That
you
wa-
knew it was taking you somewhere.
Exactly. I said, well, one day I'm gonna be sitting there behind that microphone, turning those knobs on that console, and answering the phone and talking to the girls and talking shit and playing the hits.
Yeah.
Hey, get my own paycheck.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the first radio job I got paid $1.60 an hour.
What year was this?
This was 1965.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, minimum wage was around $1.65 at that time. I didn't care. In fact, my first paycheck, I think I kept it for about a year. Didn't even cash it in. I
Yeah,
was
but
so
you-
proud of that check.
Proud
It was
of
like
the check.
$32 or something.
Yeah,
you know?
but you turned around, you built your name up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to build a brand.
Right.
Well, he had a belief in himself.
Yeah.
And he knew wasn't nothing going to
Couldn't
stop.
stop him.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
Because he
That's
believed
right.
in himself.
So-
And no matter what you got to do, even if it's for free,
Right.
you're learning.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to get anywhere if you're not around a situation to help you learn
That's
what
right.
you even trying to go into. You know, you need some self-experience into it, you know,
That's
like
right.
you said. So sometimes we have to do free labor.
That's right.
You know, and within a couple of years, we didn't learn all of this stuff off of free labor. By the time they look up, we bigger than them.
That's
You know,
right.
even when you're successful, you still continue to do free labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
go
I
back.
do it all the time. I'm doing it now.
Is Chris in,
Well,
is Chris in here?
Yeah,
I wonder
Chris
if he
should be
wants
there.
to
No,
say
I think he
anything.
dropped out.
Oh.
Yeah, he dropped out. Don't be a dropout, Chris. Get back in the water. Come on in. But you know, I'll tell you. And the reason I'm sharing some of these stories with you two gentlemen, and you're not kids. You know, were you born 1950?
1949. I'll be
49.
68 this year.
Well, there
December
you
the
go.
3rd.
I was born May 28, 1950. So we're right in that same club.
Same club.
Now, you have already experienced a lot of things. And the reason that you're sitting here today is because you're a survivor.
Survivors, yeah.
Okay? You survived all the obstacles that have been thrown in front of you. You've done 12 years in the prison, and you're still here.
Of course.
And you got a second, a third, or fourth, or fifth chance to do something even better, bigger. So I shared my stories with you. You shared some of yours with us. I want you to not lose that passion, okay? You just got to put that plan together, the 1, 2, 3. Everything in that you do in life, there's 3 parts to it. The A, the B, the C, the 1, the 2, the 3, the X, Y, Z, whatever you want to call it. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay? There's 3 parts to just about everything we do in life. When you get up in the morning, you wake up. That's the beginning. Mm-hmm. You then go and prep yourself. You get cleaned up and shave and comb your hair and do all the things that you need. That's all a part of the 1. Then you go out into your day, your world, whatever you're going to do all day long. And then at the end of the day, you end your day by resting again. Mm-hmm. So those are simple little things, values, and ideas that you can use in everything that you do. I teach that to people who want to be radio personalities. There's 3 things that you have to do. I did the setup this morning in this show. Mm-hmm. I introduced you guys. Now we're in the 2. That's the 1. This is the 2. The heart, the soul, the content of the show.
Right.
And at the end of the show, I'll end it. Mm-hmm. So it's a 1, 2, 3. And you got to get the 1 before you can get to the 2.
2.
So that's the key. Get that 1 together, the start, and then continue on. And you'll build in that 2 every day. You take it to another notch, a little higher. You get a few more people into your group, your plan, your idea, your concept that believe and have the same goals that you have. And you will make it happen. I guarantee it.
You know, I made that statement earlier about the little organization I started, Herbalife. I had to end it real quick for one reason, kind of like what you're talking about. Some guys was bringing guys to the meetings that we had, and part of the meetings and part of the organization, we had to read 1 book a month and then come and have a discussion about it.
Okay.
We had to do essays. It wasn't just about us gathering to make money. We have to educate ourselves too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
we got to get into reading and developing our mind. You can't do it by just talking to each other all
Absolutely.
day. So what ends up happening was some of the guys that came in, I asked one guy, I said, why are you here? Well, my friend Eric brought you. Okay, what did Eric tell you about my situation that's going on right here? Oh, y'all smoke weed. Hold on. Where are you getting that from? Because of the name Herbalife? I said, look, dude, you can't smoke weed at my meeting in the beginning, the middle, nor the end. You smoke when you are nowhere near us. That is not what we're about. He didn't give you the definition of the title. I said, check this out. You follow me, and we go find Eric. I found Eric. I said, this your buddy, right? Yeah, both of y'all leave. Because you guys are going to destroy what I'm trying to build. Because you're not bringing people in, telling them the truth of what we're trying to do as black men and better ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we all put money in one pool, and if you got a business, he got a business, I got a business, the idea was after 6 months, if your radio station needed 30,000, we gave that to you. Keep raising money, keep raising money. If Jetson needed something for his business, he got that. Everybody in the group, and if your son need a job, he got a job. Either with me, with Jetson, with her, anybody in the organization that has a business, your family is welcome to come work.
Right.
But first, your family got to be taught how to be in that type of setting.
Sure.
We're just not going to hire him and say go to work.
Right.
No, they're going to have to read some books, do a couple of little learn marketing, learn how to deal with the customers. Because a lot of businesses, blacks, I say, fail because of their lack of knowledge of how to handle or treat the people in the business.
That's true. My uncle Bill, he's no longer with us, belonged to what they called at that time was a social club. And these are all black business professionals. Some of them were doctors, lawyers, worked for the post office, semi-professional people. And they would meet monthly. And they had a dues that they had to pay, okay? And they would have their fun. They'd bring a little alcohol and drink and have fun and kick it and play cards and all that. But they all had to contribute money into to the organization. So what was that money used for? If someone in the organization or in the neighborhood that needed something, these guys came to the party and they helped people out. If one of them lost a family member and they needed some funding for the funeral, they went to the kitty, and that person was put away properly. Okay, so it wasn't tens of no $1 million involved, but it was a group of guys of maybe 10 or 15 of them that contributed every month, and they would have these little social gatherings, and they would rotate it to each guy's house. So it was no burden on one person.
Right.
They didn't go and rent no building or nothing. They went to each other's house, and they played cards, and they had a few drinks, and had a good time. It was nothing but guys. So those kind of things, little things, absolutely, man. Absolutely. There's thousands of guys that have walked that same trail that you guys have walked. Get them together first.
Thank you. Like-minded.
Okay? Like-minded. People. Yeah. Like experiences, like-minded, that have the same belief system, that want to help people. Get together, have those little meetings, talk about things that need to be done, and find a small thing that you can accomplish. Maybe it ain't $1,000 that you need. Excuse me. Maybe a family member or somebody in your neighborhood, excuse me, that need $35 for some groceries. Do that. Go
Lee,
do that.
John Austin said he's not getting no audio.
I don't know
And
why.
he said the screen is frozen.
It's not frozen over here. I'm not sure. What is he?
I don't know how long ago he came in and told you this.
Yeah, everything looks good here. But the problem we have is sometimes we think a little too big, and that will kill an idea. So start small and work your way up.
What kills a lot of them is even though sometimes you can bring in people that's like-minded like you, and what I've always said with myself is for anybody that's part of what I'm doing, what we talk about needs not to go out into the world.
Right.
Because when you start having second conversations with people about what you had a first conversation with someone to get something right, this person you talking to ain't even on the same mindset.
Right.
It's just a friend of yours. So sometimes that person can actually discourage you from being part of what we doing.
That's right.
They ain't going nowhere. They ain't nothing. They just da. And then you can fall victim to, you know what? You're right. And that becomes a problem sometimes. We got to learn how to just stay focused on what we see.
And you keep those people out of your circle. Yep.
The naysayers.
That's right.
The naysayers. That's what they call them.
Yep.
Yeah, the naysayers.
Yep.
And the haters. Keep them out the circle. And it's all about, life is about 10%. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So,
true.
How we react to things is real determine our path.
Absolutely.
So my thing is the youth. If you're in a gang now, there's no sense of me coming to you saying, hey, man, why don't you get out this gang? Not because you're not. Because you wouldn't have joined the gang at first if you didn't want to be.
Exactly.
That's right.
So
and how do you stop these gangs that are coming from other countries? Like that MS, what is it, on the East Coast now that are hacking people up, young kids?
Gangs like that, you got to remember, those are not street gangs.
No.
Those are like mafia gangs.
But they're pulling
those
in kids
Those
that
are organized criminal gangs.
Yeah.
Los Angeles street gangs. And what people fail to realize is not an organization. It's not organized at all.
Yeah.
We're just members. There's no I have to do this, you have to do that. When MS-13, you are controlled.
Yeah,
got pecking
I've
orders.
read a lot on them, and
You
it's frightening.
Yeah, you may have to stand outside all night just standing at the door. And it's cold out there. But that's your job. And it ain't nothing you could do about it because you want to become part of their gang.
And they're getting very, very young kids as far back as
Of
elementary
course.
schools.
And then what makes them different from Crips and Bloods, other gangs, is they have a thing called blood in, blood out. Crips and Bloods don't. For one reason, you have too many ex-Crips, you have too many ex-Bloods, you have OGs. Now, certain Hispanic gangs, once you join,
You
that's
can't
life.
leave.
That's
That's
it.
it.
What they mean by blood in, blood out, or your life. That's what they gonna get. When you
That's
say
the
I'm
end.
stepping down, that's a wrap. No, you jumped in,
You're in forevermore.
you in forevermore. Now, if you want to get out, that's where that blood in, blood out comes
yeah, they're
in.
really bad.
They're
I've
serious about
been
that.
reading
and
articles
it started
on
with
them.
the mafia, which started in 1959 in DVI. And what a lot of people don't realize, they think that was a Hispanic gang when it first started. It was, but a Caucasian started the Mexican mafia. Not a Hispanic, not a Hispanic. A Caucasian started the Mexican mafia in Tracy in 1959.
I never heard that. That's amazing. Well, again,
By the book.
it's about control.
It's in my book. I wrote it. It's in my book. Because
Tell
I
us
was in
where we can
San
get the book.
Quentin, and it's in it. I document that about
Okay.
the Mexican Mafia, how it started, how the BGF started, Black Guerrilla Family, who started that, George Jackson. We all know George Jackson and Soledad 7 started that. How it came to Quentin, people who ran it in Quentin and other things. It's all in the book I wrote about because
And
I
the
was in
ones-
Quentin.
There's the ones in Glendale, too, the Russian ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're terrible.
And they're bad
Armenians.
down in South Florida, too. Armenians and the Russians.
You don't even like to go.
Yeah.
Well,
you
I
know,
say
Glendale.
one thing about them. They got more of a safe passage in this world than us Crips and Bloods because for one thing, we ain't got no money as Crips and Bloods. Those particular
Yeah.
gangs got millions.
Yeah.
They paying off the cops, the politicians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got money to keep themselves from not even being in prison.
And they're
Right.
not a gang. They're an organization.
Their organization.
Right.
You know
They're
what
not
I'm
a
saying?
gang.
Yeah, they
It's
don't call
their
themselves a
organization.
gang.
They're not a
Undercover
gang.
business.
They're a business.
Crips
you know?
and Bloods started as simple street gangs.
Right.
And now they become urban terrorists. Not the kind we see on the evening news, the car bombers and whatnot, but there's different types of terrorists,
Right.
different levels of terrorism.
Right.
Crips and Bloods fit into one of those levels
That's
of
true.
terrorism.
That's true.
Yeah.
I drive Uber and Lyft at night, and I picked up two ladies, happened to be educators. They're working at Norfolk State University, the city I'm from, and they're here on a big convention. Educators from around the world are all here in LA right now, downtown.
Oh, okay.
And we began to talk, and one of the ladies said, well, what's the gang situation like here? I said, well, 20, 30 years ago, it was a lot worse than what it is today.
yeah.
I said, you should be out late at night anywhere.
No, period.
But, and this was like 1:30 in the morning. I just left a party, and I was taking them back to their hotel. I said, you probably don't want to walk in downtown L.A. at this time of the night. That you may get mugged, you may not, but you're going to be bothered by the homeless people because they're out here struggling. They, begging for
Right,
money,
right.
and that might make you uncomfortable. I said, most of them are not criminals. They're just out here trying to survive. You see all these tents down here on 6th Street and all down in there? I said, that's where they live. That's their
That's
neighborhood.
it. That's just their
That's-
home now.
yeah.
And they
That's
know
what
what
this
It's not
street
that they're
subject
bad
is.
people.
to go
it's
on
just
to
they
get the
lost their-
drugs down there because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
accidentally went on it one night, and that was frightening.
Yeah,
I mean, drugs are never not easy to get in America because you still got to remember one thing. They got drugs in prisons.
that's right.
And then you wonder how you in prison well, we know how. The guards is the only person that can bring those drugs
That's
in
right.
because the inmate ain't left out.
That's right. They don't go.
They don't go out.
abracadabra,
You know what I'm
make
saying?
things
So-
down here.
They don't get to leave and go to McDonald's in
Yeah.
their neighborhood and
Good,
come
come
back.
back.
That's
So,
right.
I mean,
Drugs.
why haven't nobody actually fought or said anything about why there's so many inmates in there so
Right,
high?
right.
Like, how you high?
How you do that?
How you do that, dude?
Because they're not checking the guards when they're coming in and out of the prison.
Well,
And
no
they probably
one go
make
check the
drug
guard.
dealers in there, huh?
Yeah.
Some of the prisoners become their dealers.
Well,
No,
there are dealers in there, but you gotta remember the one thing. Those police officers know one thing. If this dude was dealing drugs on the streets,
Right.
you
that's
know,
what I mean.
Yeah.
He just
knows
go
the
give me
game.
some money for it,
Right.
and that's just it.
Right.
And I'm gonna make
Period.
sure my other police officers don't raid his cell. So I'm gonna give him a couple of thousand.
Right,
So
right.
we all in cahoots with the man that we
That's
said
right.
was the criminal.
That's
But
right.
we the criminals. The
That's so
police
true.
is bringing drugs in the criminals, but they're not criminals.
and he's so right. And basically, this how it go. Now you get a correction officer that runs a certain building.
Right.
Now if he's corrupt, what
Right.
he's gonna do, he's gonna put the night watchman up on everything, and
Right.
the first shift and the second shift.
Right.
Hey, here's what I got going. We're gonna all split the money.
That's
now
right.
you got your back covered.
Right.
Now you got your back covered. Now other officers may not know about it.
That's
now
right.
when they have inspections, something they say they're gonna have a raid. Okay, let me go tell Johnny. Let me get this dope from Johnny and
Right.
stash it. Tell him I'll
Right.
bring it back to him.
Right.
You know, a little later on. But
Yeah.
they finna have a raid. Cause
Right.
when I was in pen, they used to bring them dogs in, and I know people used to have dope, but the dogs wouldn't find it. First thing it hit me, yeah, the old correction officer come and got the dope, and they're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
That's how that go.
Wow. Organized.
Organized, of
Yeah.
course.
With the
How
police
how do they
officers,
get
with the criminals.
Here's another thing. How do they get cell phones in there?
Yeah.
I know for a fact the correction officers are charging $700 to $800, some up to $1,000 to bring a cell phone into you.
Wow.
I have a nephew doing a life sentence, double life. Now Jeremy been down about 20 years, almost. He didn't have 4 cell phones, and I know for one, his father sent him $600 to buy one.
Wow.
Put it on a green dot card for dude. Gave him the numbers.
Right.
And he brought him in a phone.
Wow.
And you know what make that so bad? I got a friend right now that I actually gotta go send some money to, right? But I told him the other day, he wants me to send him money to put on his texts and his photos. I said, dude, you got a phone, right? And you want me to pay for your phone while you incarcerated? You want to be texting people and sending pictures to them? I said, dude, I'm not about to be doing that, bro. You know, I did it for the first 3 months until I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, you are incarcerated. You don't have that type of luxury. I don't even know how you got that phone.
Right.
Let alone me paying the bill on it.
Yep. You're an accessory to the crime now.
Now you want you to pay.
They gonna get you. You gonna be sitting there. Where's my cell phone?
Yeah, and then let's look at it this way. Now, when you go to prison, what is it supposed to do? They're supposed to rehabilitate you.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no
Right.
such thing as rehabilitation in the state of California anymore. It's control, management, and lockdown. That's it. There's no more rehabilitation. The prisons don't care. They warehouse you, then kick you out. With
Right.
no type of skills, no
Right.
type of education. Now the youngsters coming back, the only thing they learn is guerrilla warfare.
Right.
That's it.
So now they coming back teaching the other youngsters guerrilla warfare tactics. Or let's do it this way. I done thought about it. I've been in prison 10 years. I done thought about it. Now we can do it this way. Man, there's no new way to commit bullshit. You know, it's all the same.
Right. It
You
is.
committed all
At
the
end of
same
the
way.
day,
You know?
it's all the same.
It's all the same.
What-
So, you know, I look at them cats that come out of prison with that old Crip stuff or that blood and talking about I'm going to be a shot caller. You need to go back to prison.
Yeah, basically.
Basically,
Go back.
gonna end up
you need to
anyway.
go back.
Yeah, just
to
go
prison.
back.
Because for one, you coming out corrupting young people. You coming out spitting some bullshit that shouldn't be spit. Now you want them to do something for you. It's all about you, though.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's not about, hey, we're gonna do this collectively. No,
Right.
you're gonna do it because I got a secret
benefit
motive.
from it.
Now you gonna do this, and I'm gonna reap the benefits from it. Now come on, something wrong with this picture.
Now I'm
Something's wrong with this
gonna
picture.
ask you guys a question, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Chris. Chris may have some questions for you. He lives in Chicago. Chicago's a major crime area. You know, people killing each other in their own neighborhoods. So we'll talk a little bit about that. After you got out of prison, what was your biggest concern or fear?
When I got out of prison, my biggest concern and my biggest fear was my safety. Because Crips had become so divisive. Because when I went to prison, if you lived in a Crip neighborhood, I was welcome. But when I got out of prison, all the different sets had come about, and they told me, you can't go over here, you can't go over there, you can't go over here. I say, why? Because you live over here.
Now explain the sets to people that don't understand that. What that means.
Hoover's a set, meaning it's a Crip gang. That's what they call sets. Hoover's, 8 Tray Gangsters is a set.
Instead of calling ourselves a gang, we just changed it over and said set. Kind of throw the people off. They don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
East Coast is set, but it's a gang. You know, if you say set, that means an individual Crip gang. You know, Playboy gangsters, Venice Shorelines, shotguns. I can go on and on. You know, the
We
list
got
goes on and
things
on.
like the gang itself to
And then
throw
the
off
subtitles,
subtitles. Like we in the land,
under
we in
the
the
title
turf,
of
we on the
Crips.
block.
Under the title, under the banner of
so
Crips,
that just
yeah.
shows more division within the name.
Within the name.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it is. You know, they
Pimping the
come under the
name.
banner of Crips,
Right.
but they function individually.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started.
So it's not a real fammy.
No, when we first
Nah,
started,
'cause
it
you all
was a family.
You individual members.
It
You
was
do what
a
you
family.
want to do.
Yeah.
It was a family. We just couldn't do what we want to do. We
Right.
couldn't get out in the neighborhood and say, "Well, I'm gonna go around here and do this." No, partner, you gonna do what? No,
Right.
you know, that's what you're not gonna do.
Right.
We didn't discourage youngsters from going to school.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like the Godfather movie, where you had the different, 6 or 7 different families, and they all had their own agendas.
Yeah.
But they were all gangsters.
They was all
They're all
gangsters.
Yeah, they were all Italian gangsters or whatever. But they had different ideas and they want to go into different directions, and then they began to fight among themselves for more control. Oh, he's doing the moonshine over here, while we're doing drugs and pimping hoes. And no, I don't want to get involved in that, but you're making a lot of money, right? Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, we got to get a piece of that.
Well, the Jewish are
sounds like the
very
same thing.
organized.
Yeah.
Their
Oh,
gang,
yeah, totally.
Very organized.
Totally. And they're just like the rest of the
And they
gangsters,
really
criminals.
invest.
Yeah.
Because remember, I told you I was with a Jewish man.
Well, and what keeps them together? It's all about the money.
Money.
The money.
Yes,
They
sir.
know how to make the money.
Yeah,
Money.
they understand that if we control the money, we can control. We have power.
If
Okay.
Crips would have separated and became individual pockets, they would be just as powerful as the mafia and probably would have been structured in an economical way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where it was a lot of money and we helped each other.
Right.
And a lot of violence wouldn't have took place because in that type of organization, I can't just eliminate a person because I want to or if I just don't like you because you are somebody very important. You're the money man or you're part of the money machine. So I can't just kill you or kill him or beat you up or take
Right.
your car, take your jewelry.
Right.
I'm going to have to, it's going to be some repercussions on me and it ain't going to be nice.
Right.
And maybe to my own family.
Now, under the Bloods, is it divided like the Crips?
No, the Bloods at one particular time, not one blood gang ever fought each other.
Really?
They always got
For a
along.
while.
Now you have some little that have little, but still to the most of it, all bloods still get along. They had to unify to get along because it was just say 10 to 40. You got 10 blood gangs, you got 40 Crip gangs. We can't fight each other if we got 40 of them and only 10 of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't divide ourselves up.
Yeah.
Let them dudes fight each other and we go stay solid.
Right.
And then you know what? We ain't even got to fight them.
That's smarter.
We ain't even gotta have we could just keep making our money. In the coldest thing in South Central LA, most blood gangs got more money than Crip gangs. And they the smallest gangs. But they whole thing, they kept their unity.
Right.
They didn't break their unity.
See?
Like you said, they kept,
Kept it
the
family.
unity. Yeah, they kept
They
the
kept the
unity.
family.
They kept the unity, but then it started to crack. Now you have some blood on blood wars is worse than Crip on Crip.
Really?
You got Denver Lane versus Inglewood family. Inglewood family, or the Crenshaw Mafia warring against Denver Lane. You have the bounty hunters warring with Peach Stone and Inglewood family. So like he said back in the days, that
Didn't exist.
That didn't exist. But now it all came about. Why? Because that war started behind drugs.
Drugs and personal
Yeah.
Drugs and
issues.
That started. That Inglewood family in the Denver Lane started behind drugs. I got a cousin who's from Inglewood family, and that was a drug thing. But now look at it. It's more deadly than A-Tray gangsters in rolling 60s right now. Brothers just got killed not too long ago in Imperial in Vermont.
Now you
You know?
guys are sitting here in L.A. You know the history of street gangs. When you look at cities like Chicago, what is your impression, and how do you see that whole thing?
They on top of each other.
Yeah.
We not on top of each other.
Yeah, see,
There is too many. You could go to
they're
Chicago
congested
right
and
now.
we're spread out.
Yeah.
And because for one, like if you're a gang on the west side, you're 90% of the time you're not gonna war against a gang on the east side because you got to travel a distance.
Too far.
It's too far. Then you got that big chance of
LA
being
traffic
busted.
keep you from doing
Yeah, LA traffic keep you from But if you look at it in California, most Crip gangs in one-on-one, if they warn against another Crip gang, they're on the same side of town. It's easy to get to them.
Right.
It's easy to get back. Like you said, Lee, you don't have all that traffic.
Right.
You don't have the fear of being stopped. In traffic and the police coming up on you.
Right.
No.
Right.
Why I'm going to travel 10 miles to war with you, then I got 10 miles to come back to try to get back to safety.
Right.
When there's some people that I don't like live 2 miles down the road.
Right.
So I'm going to keep mine isolated to the guys down the street 2 miles down the road because I got a better chance of getting away.
Is there any code among street gangs that say, hey, man, we don't mess with old women, we don't mess with old people, men or women, children, females, or is there just no code of ethics?
There's supposed to be, but certain street gangs, I will identify with that, but then you have a lot that don't. Because, I know a lot. No.
Well, a lot of the gangs are just focused on gang members. Now, if someone gets shot in the process of some type of shooting, it was never meant for that old lady or that kid. You know what I'm saying?
But retaliation?
In essence, what I never did like was if you did see people on the block like that, even though you was going for a target, you should leave that target alone at that particular time.
Right, come
because
back later.
You're not a professional shooter.
Right.
So your bullets may not even hit the target.
Right.
So just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to the range shooting boom, boom, and hitting the right person.
Right.
So just avoid this mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But most of the youngsters don't have that mentality or that thought process that you just put out there. Because once they're sitting on the mission by their big homeboys, you know well as I do, they're young and they just coming to the game.
You better go do it right now.
And then you want to be impressed anyway. You want to impress your big homeboys anyway.
Right.
They going to do it thinking, well, I'm not going to shoot this old lady. No.
Now,
but she just inadvertently got shot. Why?
Right.
Because you're putting guns in the hands of unexperienced people who do not know how to use them.
Yeah.
And the difference with us in Chicago is completely organized.
It is, you think?
They're completely organized. The GDs, the BBPs, for the 4 block hustlers, all of those dudes are organized. They all play a role. And it's individual pockets in each one of those Chicago gangs. And the problem is with Chicago, to me, is, like I said, they're too crowded. It's not enough money. And the structure is no longer there. It's too many poor people. Everybody's just buckingly running wild. They can't think. It's cold. Ain't no money.
Chris, you come into the conversation and tell us what you see there in Chicagoland.
Oh, well, first of all, I got to thank Cedric and Judson for being on the show, man. I've been listening, of course. They're just great information, and thank you for what you're doing, and good luck to your book.
Thank you.
No problem. Here in Chicago, I have to agree. When I was coming up in the 70s and 80s, in my formative years, we had the Black P. Stone Nation, which was the south side of Chicago, where I'm originally from, south side. And then the west side, we had Disciples and also the Latin Kings. Now, the main beef was between the Stones and the Disciples. Now, it's amazing how you run into people and you just don't know their background. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was playing basketball, go to the court and you meet guys and you run 5-on-5 and you always want to run with the guy you're always going to be, compatible with. He's going to give you the ball, you're going to dunk or do a Magic Johnson move or something like that, and you know you're going to run with. There was this guy named Tank. Tank was like 6'4" and 265 solid. And every time I saw him, we always ran 5-on-5 together. We always looked out for each other. And Tank was about 10 years older than me. And he would tell me, hey, young blood, you still in school? Stay away from them girls, man, blah, blah, blah. And every time we talk, it's always about staying in school, what you're going to do with your life and things like that. They come to find out he was third in command of the Blackstone Rangers. He never recruited me. He never talked about gangs. He always want to make sure that my head stayed level and away from that. Yeah. So it's always amazing when you run into people who, it's like, this life is for me and it's not about you. It goes a long way. Because it does, when you look back in hindsight, it could have went the opposite direction. And going back to what you said about it being on top of each other, see, now it's all too many rugged individualists having guns. Right. So it's not like it's segmented. It's like back in the day when you had the South Side and the West Side. In between those sides, you have individual guys and gals, because some gals be packing too. I ain't discriminating. You know, going around shooting everybody. No, they don't, man. I'm telling you, they go around shooting everybody. So for the crime and the Chicago police around here, I think it's more difficult to infiltrate or to try to get crime off the street when you have. It's like the Wild Wild West. Everybody's packing. Yeah.
Scary.
It's going to be very difficult because it is a Wild Wild West and there's no control in it.
It's sad, man, because, you know, I say it all the time. We got to have love for ourselves and our family members and these poor children. Children are being killed every day all over this world, you know, and children committing crimes against other children, children killing adults. It's just, it's out of control, man.
What did I say about Black America, though? Because 90% of the gang members, if you talk about Crips and Bloods and other black gangs, are black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not so much a society problem, which it is.
Right.
It's more of a Black America problem. You know, because for one, white society is not going to intervene and try to help correct it. Their intervention is going to be killing us in prison.
Or kill each
Yeah,
other.
because that's big money.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
they'd
big
rather
money.
keep you alive, take you through the justice system, and lock your ass up because their brother or nephew or somebody in their family or cousin or somebody owned the prison.
Owned the prison or got big stock in it.
And they're also selling the toilet paper and the
There
clothes,
you
and
go.
shoes,
There you go.
flip-flops and shit.
I ain't
that
gonna
is
lie
used.
to you. I actually want to get me a business and send it through the prison. Sorry.
Well,
It's
you
money
make
up in
money,
there,
man.
man. It's
You'll
money to
make
be
money.
made, you know.
But we as a people need to wake up, Lee. We really do. Because we have let this go on 2 more years. It'll be the 50th year anniversary of the beginning of Crips.
Wow, 50
So
years.
now let's look back in that 50 years. What we had? Probably 5 to 10 years of peace. 40 years of chaos,
Killing.
self-genocide,
Yeah.
assaults, rapes, robberies. You know, and it's not going to be easy to revert it back to what it was. Because you didn't have 40 years of bullshit.
Right.
It's going to take another 40 years of being clean to just
Sure.
to get used to staying away
Right.
from the bull.
Yeah.
You know?
You
And,
know, do you think that retaliation keeps this cycle going as well? So let's say I had a brother, and my brother was shot by a gang member, whether it was a blood, Crip, it doesn't matter. Then I'm pissed off. I'm mad as hell because I've just lost my brother. I want to find out who killed my brother, and I want to get him.
Okay,
or
now,
her.
okay, now if you go after the individual,
Right.
I would say cool. But now if you're going after anybody else because they're associated with that gang and that gang killed your brother, now that's where the problems lie. Let me give you a quick one. My baby brother, rest in peace, was a founder, not a founding member, of one of the founders of A-Tray Gangsta Crip.
Okay.
He got shot by this certain gang. Now, with me, with that gang, I don't have nothing against that gang, but I have something against the people in that gang that shot him. They made it personal. With me, it was never a gang thing. You made it personal. Now, I'm not going to go get anybody because you're in that gang. I knew the people that shot him. Those who I was going after. Not because you say you from this particular gang, from Rolling 60. Let's keep it out there.
Right.
Because you from Rolling 60. I don't care. I want the Rolling 60 to pull the trigger.
Right.
I want the Rolling 60 to give that boy the gun to shoot my brother. Those are the people I want. But now, other people have different mindsets. They're going to say, I'm going to get anybody from that gang.
Right.
That's what keeps the chaos, and that's what keep it going in a circle. And then plus the recruitment ground. If we can cut the gang's recruitment ground, next 10, 15 years, there won't be no gangs because you won't have anybody to recruit into the gang. Eventually, you're going to fade away.
Sure.
And the violence will stop within less than 10 or 15 years. Once they see we're not going to get no new members, okay, let's do it like this. Let's back off, see if we can keep the next gang from coming over here shooting it. And every gang in the world going to probably think that way.
That's right.
Because the recruiting ground has been severed. Now, your recruitment base, hey, the members you have now, if you got 100, 10 of them go to jail. I got 90. And you know they're going to keep going to jail or dying off. So you have to find something new to do.
That's right.
Cut the recruitment.
Now, how good of a job, I'll phrase it that way, are the authorities, the cops doing?
Started.
See, you handle that one. I mean,
I'm gonna get in there, but me and him been talking about this a lot, you know, because this is my sidekick. We kick it together,
right?
We have a like mindset, and he was telling me something a couple weeks ago. Remember about the police? We was talking about the police. So you kick it.
Finish your question.
Do you think that they are part of the problem? Are they doing a good enough job, or are they part of the problem?
They are the problem. They're the biggest problem. When I say that is that when you said retaliation, a lot of the retaliation is actually because some cop then came over there and killed one of our friends, and he yelled out the window another gang, and then he comes right back. His buddy come right back about 20 minutes later and scoop everybody up and beat the crap out of you because they just did what they did, but now they need to take somebody in
put
prison.
the blame on somebody else.
Exactly. That's just how Bernard with the prison. His case was the same way. The police had to put this particular on him because they knew him. They knew of him. So a lot of police would just go around picking at us. We had a policeman named Guzman. Couldn't stand Guzman because Guzman would set you up with dope, beat you down. I mean, he was just the most terrible cop you could find.
Corrupt.
But he was part of the what did they call it? Gang task. Gang squad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he took total authority of it. And Jetson mentioned something earlier about the police and, the gang itself, how the police force is not the problem. But really, they are the problem because people join both of those organizations because they can uphold that power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you become a cop, I can kill somebody and don't get away with it.
Right.
I know if I become a gang member, I could do certain things and, not get away with it or, get caught. It gives me power to go around and terrorize people. And that's the one reason why I hated certain people who became gang members because they did become a gang member to have that type of power.
Right.
Just to say, yeah, I'm from here. I can take this from you because I'm from here. Hold on, bruh. The gang don't give you no power. You yourself is the power.
Right.
Now, if that's not in you, don't use the gang for that.
Right.
Thank you.
Don't be a police officer because you was a weak guy got bullied in school. So now you want to go around bullying people because you got a badge now.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that entity makes them people
I
who
hear
they
that
are.
all the time. Yeah. All over the country, I hear that. The cops become part of the problem, and many times I believe
they overabuse their authority too.
Sure, absolutely. I believe that they know as much about the gangs as anybody else.
Or more so. Because for one, that's, if I got intelligence on you, I'm one up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to piggyback on what Cedric said in your question about the police, now, there's been instances where the police had come up to St. Andrews Park, gaffled up a couple brothers from A-Tray Gangster, and took them over to neighborhood rolling 60 hood and kicked them out the car, and yelled out, "They from A-Tray Gangster," and skirt off.
Wow.
They did 60s like that. Opposite, bring them up to St. Andrews Park, kicked them out the car, said they from rolling 60, and then skirt off.
They wanted us to kill each other.
Thank you.
Right.
But in both instances, nobody got shot. Nobody got hurt. Because I guess the people that was around said,
they saw the setup.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seen the setup.
It ain't like they came over there on their own. They seen the cops kick them out. So
of the car.
it was like, we just take you home, homie. You know what I'm saying?
A couple people told me we gave dude a pass. Told him, man, go on, man, because we seen what happened.
Right, exactly. They're trying to divide us even further.
Keep us divided.
Yeah.
Even further, like you said.
Right.
And like he said, that's their job.
Now, Chris, in Chicago, do you see these type of things going down?
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's so segmented and it's like segmented and scatterbrained at the same time. So nothing is everything's all over the place. And when you talk to people who are part of the street, and go back to what your original point was, if these younger people have something to do, then they wouldn't do it. I mean, it's like, all resources not there. You mentioned before about no after-school programs, no mentorships, no nothing. And so, like you said before, everybody wants to be a part of something. And you may not know it's positive or negative, but you want to be a part of something. Everybody comes from some sort of family foundation, or to be around other people who are like-minded, and it really is a family.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, then you do wrong. Right. And maybe in that element, because you're around other people who are like-minded like you, it doesn't bode well, and you just don't know any better. Just because somebody don't know don't make them not intelligent. They're just ignorant of what their surroundings are, and it could be a better life. Because certain people who are in gangs, or hell, not even not in gangs, don't even go past a 4-block radius.
I hear you.
Oh yeah.
They just stay there.
Absolutely.
That's their world.
Yep. I've met people in my travels, and I've lived all over the country. And young people who've never been outside of their neighborhood, never been on a Greyhound bus, an airplane, never been. They live in Baltimore, never been to Washington, D.C.
I know some guys like that. They live in a certain neighborhood all their life, never been out of it.
Never.
My thing was when I was gangbanging, even though, I knew I wasn't supposed to be certain places, I still didn't have that fear. You know what I'm saying? My homeboys just think I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I used to tell them, look, I'm not about to let no next black man intimidate me from going where I go, and I don't care where he from.
Right.
I'm coming over here anyway. Now, if he want to talk to me or he want to shoot at me before he can talk to me to see where my mind state is at to why I'm over here,
right.
then,
not
okay.
here to do you no harm.
Exactly.
Right.
So I learned by just being that type of person, I have a lot of enemies that's actually my friends because they was like, he ain't causing no harm. He came here as a man, not as a representative of his gang.
Right.
So why are you guys trying to jump on him or take his stuff?
Right.
He's a regular human being. Let him go. He's basically, he's a free man right now.
Right.
He didn't come over here talking about his gang. He ain't got his gang
And
colors
recruiting.
on.
Yeah.
None of that. He over here to see his peoples or he over here to do business.
Right.
One of the two.
That's right.
So, it's all about you being a man first in these streets before anything. And you will gain all the respect that you need without being in harm's way. Because people will always be like, oh, that's the peacemaker, or that's the good dude, or he with the business. Don't get it wrong.
Right.
But that ain't what he here for right now.
Right now.
But hold on. Do not get him started. Leave that man alone. And that's what they homeboys will tell them.
Dynamite.
Yeah, he is a dynamite. Don't cank him with his hands crossed like he ain't, but he's a man.
Right.
So he know how to conduct himself.
That's right.
And that's the biggest problem. Our youth never knew how to conduct themselves in situations, and it just became a fireball.
Do you think that recruiters in these various gangs prey upon broken families, where they see a mother with 4 or 5 children, and they say, "We ain't no daddy around, so let me go in there and get Junior and bring him into the."
That's an East Coast thing.
Okay.
That's not a West Coast thing.
Consciously,
That's not a West
out
Coast
here,
thing.
No, we wouldn't.
We don't do nothing. That's
we
an
don't
East
do-
Coast
We don't
thing.
do it that way. Most, believe it or not, most of the people in gangs on the West Side recruit themselves.
Yeah, we recruit yourselves.
They
recruit
come to you and
themselves.
say,
They
I want
come.
in.
We
They-
come to the set.
Right.
They recruit themselves.
Okay.
It's not so much the gang members is going out starting to recruit them.
We don't do that.
No.
They recruit themselves.
Okay. They want to belong.
They want to belong. Like I
It
said,
all goes back to what everybody been saying about belonging to something.
belonging to something.
You know, and having that camaraderie with certain people with the same mindset.
Exactly.
You know, so like myself, for instance, I wasn't recruited. I recruited myself. It's all in the book. When it first started, I recruited myself because it's not so much the way I recruited myself is when we first started. It was 16 down here on the West Side, and we went to school together. We knew each other.
Yeah.
So it wasn't no thing
Y'all
like
all partners.
we was all partners.
Yeah.
Everybody that started with me, we were all friends already.
Right.
Went to the same parties, house parties. We ride together.
Right.
He got a car, in my car, somewhere on mine. I would ride with him.
Right.
We went to the same school. I see him every day at St. Andrews Park when I
Right.
went up to the park. And it was easy for me to gravitate towards Crips because I already knew.
Right.
And I recruited myself.
Right.
They didn't come to me and say, "Man, come on, we want you." In the end, they did. Well,
Once you got in.
Yeah.
Once I got in, come on,
Yeah.
homie, we needed you. We
Right.
had a space for you
Right.
anyway.
Right.
But it was me recruiting myself. I could easily told them, "Man, I'm cool." Because they asked me, "Sure you want to be this?" I said, "Yeah, man." Because it's in my. I told them, "Man, I quit anytime I want to." But West Side, no, we recruit ourselves. You have some gang members that go and say, "Man, let's see what dude about." We always see him around here. He always by himself. He's quiet. Let's see what he about. Talk to him. Ooh, yeah, man, I be checking y'all out. You want to be part of the gang? Yeah, okay. Now come on. Now you've been recruited. But
Okay.
most, like he said, and I said, come to the park. They'll look around. They'll might gravitate. Say he got a friend, gravitates towards him, and he sees Cedric with all these different people every day. He's gonna say, "Damn, I sure do want to be part of that." So he might get his
Like
Cedric.
they're
Say,
having a good
Cedric,
time
I
and-
want to be part of what you are. Now he's just recruited himself.
I can say to you on that right there, I done had that happen a couple of times.
He can. They just
Young
recruited
dudes just gravitated
themselves.
to me, and I didn't push them away, but I didn't. What ended up always happening with the dudes that gravitated to me, that became part of the gang, they never hung out with me
Right.
because I never pushed no one to become a member.
Right.
And while they was hanging with me, I don't know what made them think they needed to become a member, be part of what I was doing.
Sure.
But they had already had their own intentions, you know, which I didn't know, you know. And me personally, I'm talking to them on a positive level,
Right.
Not knowing on this other ear was like, dude, you're supposed to be talking about the gang.
Right.
Why you telling me to go to school and woo, woo, woo? You know what? Okay, you my buddy. Everybody now know you are my protector. So now I can now maneuver myself to anybody else in this game. Only thing I gotta say, oh yeah, I'm Say's homeboy. Oh yeah, we see you with you all the time. Woo, woo, woo. So now he's getting connected with these dudes he really wanted to be with,
Right.
Be with.
in the
Right.
first place.
Got it.
But he thought I was so turned up because I was part of the game. But when it comes, he ain't turned up, but when he want to be turned up,
Right.
this ain't his lifestyle.
Right.
This is like, you know, an everyday thing for him. He does it because he have to do it and he wants to do it.
Sure.
But when he don't want to do it, he ain't doing it.
Right.
But if the problems come to him, he's going to handle it. But he's not looking for trouble. I was never looking for trouble.
And it's,
They wanted to look for trouble.
Yeah, and it's going back to what we start talking about. What are you talking about? Like, he grew up in the neighborhood. You and they Trey Gangster neighborhood.
Born and raised.
I grew up over there. And most of the people who gravitated towards that gang grew up in that area.
Exactly.
And you know, and it wasn't like it was forced on them. No, either yes or no. You weren't jumped on by now certain gangs. I know for a fact, recruits. Once you go to elementary and you're in 6th grade, you finna come out and go to 7th. I know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they recruit. Because I have a friend from Rolling 60s I used to work with. You know, me and this guy become real close. One day he come to work, he say, Judson. I say, what? He said, man, and he shook his head. I thought something bad had happened. He said, man, I got to get my sons and my daughter away from there. I said, what? He said, man, you know, my homeboys, my own homeboys
Trying to
told my
recruit your
son,
son.
here's what they told his son. His son was in the 7th grade, just got in the 7th grade. If you don't join the gang, we're going to kick your ass every day. I say, hold it. Didn't you tell them that was your son? He said, yeah, but they don't care, man. He said, I'm going to have to kill one of them fools. He said, but you know what? Before I do that, homie, he said, I'm finna move.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he'd move.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want his son getting caught up
In that crazy world.
In that crazy world. And then you got people 16, 17, 18 telling this little, 11-year-old boy, you gonna join this gang.
Right.
And if you don't, every day we see you, you gonna get your ass beat.
Right.
What kind of, man, that's asinine.
That's terrorism.
That's at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how some kids
At
ended up
its
gang
finest.
banging
That's
too.
right.
That didn't
That's
want
how-
a gang bang.
Yeah.
Thank you. They didn't want to gang bang.
Yep.
You know, this is how they become gang members. And then you look at certain gangs and say, why they so big? Because they making
recruited.
everybody in the gang in that neighborhood become a gang
member.
member. Why? To protect the few that's really get down. Now, if they say we so big, they see us in numbers, the other gang won't come up in here. But no, you got 50 people. You might have 100 people in your gang,
Yeah.
but you got 75 that don't want to be there.
Don't
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah,
here.
but they ain't got no choice.
Ain't got no choice. But then
gotta play the game. That's
then-
scary.
But look at it this way: you got your hardcore Crips. When they come through shooting, what you gonna do? And you didn't want to be in the gang in the first
gonna
place.
run.
Now, do
It's
they-
survival
Then they
at
gonna
that
call you a
point.
buster. Oh, he
Yeah, it's
ran,
a
man. I
buster.
didn't want to be here in the first place, man.
Right.
Y'all forced me to be part
they
of
gonna
this,
whip
man.
his
You
ass
know,
again.
yeah, go whip him again.
Now, do they-
here come the killing now.
They
But here come the
recruit
killing.
girls
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, I mean the
girls
whole thing
too.
is your community. So if
Yeah.
the boys outside you play with and you're a girl in that community, y'all all walk the store together. You do everything together. So if somebody shoot at you and she with you, she gonna take the same type of feeling too. And she
course.
may be like, "Hey, let me pick up a gun." Women
Right.
ain't soft.
Right.
In no fashion or form.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? My favorite hero is Harriet Tubman. You turn
Me
around, I'll
too.
shoot you. Hey,
But just
so,
like Cedric just said, some of the women are the most deadliest in the
ones,
world.
man, than the
Because
boys.
when we first started, about 4 or 5 months later, Cripplettes started.
Cripplettes.
That's where they
Cripplettes.
started with us. That's what we call them, Cripplettes. Bonnie, Big Linda,
Big Linda,
Black Connie, Jackie Todd, Pam Todd, Linda Moore. I can name them all. They were, to me,
Black Connie.
I'd rather
Did you have a
run
white Connie?
with them than to
run
run
with
with
some of them
anybody else.
dudes.
Because on Friday night, sometimes I used to pick them up because I know wherever we go, they got my back.
right.
I could go to a party and look around, and if something happened, I ain't got to worry because I know one thing:
And
them
their
females
radar
got my back.
And
You
their
know how-
radar is up all the time.
You know how I looked
Right.
at that? The queen protected her king.
That's right. That's right.
They got my back.
They
You know, and
really
I'd
had
rather
that
run
like,
right.
that's
That's
my
right.
king. You ain't about to mess with him.
Right,
But his
right.
homeboy gonna be like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Okay, let me throw out some ideas, and we kind of touched on it just in the conversation. In the industrial criminalized system, in the justice system, with all the privatization of prisons and what have you, these prisons have to operate. They have to buy products and services. I was talking to a doctor friend of mine just last night and a couple of days ago, who is working as a doctor in a prison, making big money, more money than they were making in a private practice. Okay? So there's a lot of money being spent. These prisons need toilet paper. They need flip-flops. They need the uniforms. They need all kinds of different kinds of food, beverages, whether it's coffee, orange juice. I don't know. Maybe they're giving you Tang. I don't know what kind of real substance they're serving. But they got to buy that stuff from somebody. Okay? Now,
Some vendor.
Right. I don't know if it's possible to get your vendor's license and start bidding on some of these services and products that are needed, not just in prisons, but in the school systems, the public schools. They got to buy that stuff from. They don't make any of that.
No, they don't.
Okay, so and it's not a tough job to do because you can go to distributors and buy little pints of milk. Okay, you can buy 20,000 gallons of these little milk cartons. And you don't even have to warehouse it. You buy it from the distributor or drop ship it to wherever it's going.
But you don't think that's all organized too?
Of course it is, but
I don't think it's completely organized because lately
the demand is so high. You
Well,
might be able to get in there.
Well,
If you just
lately
get a
over the
piece.
last 10 years, you've been having to where now inmates ain't got to wear flip flops.
Right.
Inmates can actually wear diamond earrings, gold chains, hats turned to the back, sunglasses. So it's a bigger business than we could ever imagine. But it's not controlled in that vendor part yet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's
So
still,
where are they buying those things that they're wearing?
it's still a vendor who actually, what it is the vendor has this sheet that has all the things that they sell. Now the prisoner will send that to you, right? Have the little X's, Lex, what he want, how many of them he want, and whatnot, right? So
Talking about the package list.
it's the package list. So if I was a vendor, I just send the prisoner the package list to give out to the inmates.
Okay.
Now the inmates choose what they want, what they can get, and what they don't want,
Okay.
and that's the bulk of it. So anybody can basically do it.
Okay.
you can
You know what I'm
get
saying?
it.
But the only problem would be, like she said, you may have somebody on the inside that may blackball you because this person over here is already making so much money.
Right.
And then they're kickbacking you so much of it too.
Right.
On the salary they're giving you.
Sure.
So it may be some little, difficulties on it is organized,
Of
ran a
course.
little bit.
Right.
Let me give you a little background on that. He's correct. Partly correct. Now, when I was in prison,
Play the game.
they changed the whole game over. I used to get a package list. I could send it to my mother or my family.
Okay.
They could
stopped
do
that.
it. They could do it. Now, you can only order from one person in prison right now. 2 lieutenants started this. That Walkenhurst is another one. Now, Walkenhurst was for the tapes and the CDs. Now, the food vendor is 2 lieutenants who started it. And to get into that, you can get into it, but like he said,
You got to pay off.
they gonna blackball you because they want all the money. But now, you go through the state to get in.
Yeah.
Now, who controls the state?
Same people.
Same people.
They got the
so it's
hookups.
going to be hard for you to get in.
You gotta have a lot of money to get
You
in.
got to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to pay some.
You got to have Michael
rub
Jordan's
some hands.
money.
You gotta have to.
Yeah.
Not Michael Jordan, but you just gotta have enough to rub hands.
You know, you're gonna have to have Michael Jordan money because It's
Every
31 prisons in California. And each prison holds a minimum damn near 1,000 people. Now, out of that 1,000 people, it's 800 of them sending packages to your company. You don't want nobody cutting into that profit.
Of course.
Because you got 31 prisons.
Right.
Now, if you get somebody else and they start cutting into your profits,
right.
Now you're going, we're going to start laying Johnny Boy off. I'm going to lay my niece off, my uncle. No, and they're not going to do that.
Right.
They're not going to do that because they're making the money. Matter of fact, they want trying to monopolize it, which basically on the under, that's what they're doing.
Well, take that same concept. Maybe it's not the prisons, maybe it's not the school districts, but there are other businesses that need products and services, okay?
Of course.
Janitorial services. They got to buy that stuff from somebody.
I say one thing.
But
like
it all goes back to the same thing. There's always, it's like affordable housing.
Yeah.
Half the people that do that housing, they get their relatives in.
Yeah.
Or their friends. So you could sign up for years for
And
it.
never
And
get
if you
in.
don't know somebody in there,
You're
forget
not going
it.
to get in.
Yeah.
They give it. So it's everything in this country. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. It's corrupt.
It's
And
very
yeah,
corrupt.
pay to play.
Man, you just said you got to pay to play.
Yeah.
You know, but what price do we have to pay? Some of us paying with our lives.
Yeah.
Some of us are paying with like when you go to prison. I tried to tell a guy this the other day, and he didn't really want to believe it, but it's so true. When you go to prison, you know your family do prison time with you.
Yeah, that's true.
You
They're
know,
suffering.
and he looked at me like, "No, they don't come." I said, "They don't have to come to prison to be in there to do prison time with you. Here's how they're gonna do time with you. For one, family gatherings. Your mother may not want to. Your mother may want to go on a family visit. I mean, to that family gathering. But she gonna say, "No, I don't have the money because I got to go see who? My son,
Or send him some money.
or I got to." I just get it out. Or send him some money, or he need a TV,
Yeah.
or
Some
he
new
needs
shoes.
this, he needs some shoes or something. Now,
They
it's-
have their own TVs now.
Yeah, you
No,
always
no.
had TVs in prison.
Yeah, you
had
can
to
have
buy
your
them.
own TV, and then
They got iPads.
You got
yeah,
cable
iPad.
too.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know
Some
about
of them got
cable.
cable. Yeah, some of them got cable.
That's too advanced right there.
Yeah, but some of them do have cable. She's right though. Some of them do
Yeah,
have cable.
I know. Wow.
That's deep.
That's real
you know-
deep. They keeping them comfortable.
Yeah.
You here for they got you here for 62 years. They should give you cable.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they
Yeah,
got you
yeah.
here all the
Yeah,
time. They
yeah.
should give you all these. Let me wear what I want to wear. I ain't going home.
A family member, a family member does time with you when you go to prison. I
Yeah.
don't care. Bottom line is
That's
they're gonna
right.
do time with you.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
They sure do.
And the biggest thing is though, like I said earlier in the show, I got to get the youth to not even be a part of what we're
Gang.
talking about.
Thank you.
Just not even be a part. And the only way we could do that is if we have educational centers. And that's the one thing I want to start is a center where I pick up young black men from school every day, bring them to our particular center, and we have a program and a list of things that we need them to learn in life. You know what I'm saying? About joining gangs, about going to work, about making up your bed, wash the dishes, taking out the trash. A lot of these young kids are not doing none of that. You know, I know a female right now won't make her kids clean her car. And I'm like, are you serious? Come on,
Really?
man. Nah, that's okay. I'll do it. I see her a
No.
couple of days later, the car's still dirty. I said,
No.
well, you didn't do it. Why they ain't do it? They
Right.
made the mess.
They sitting up here, watching video games.
You know, you're
Games
right.
all
'Cause
day.
I see that
Brain
too.
dead.
Where
And I need young men to be able to understand their
Yeah.
duties at their own home.
That's right.
And then the duties when they leave home and how to
That's
conduct
right.
themselves. And there's
Like
not
we
enough
said, if
men
you
out
don't-
here.
Duty of a man. How to
Duty
be
of
a man. How
exactly.
to be a man.
How to be a man.
But if you don't expose a young person to things like that, they will grow up ignorant
Totally ignorant.
and totally exposed. And
All the
and
way
they
ignorant.
become victims for the rest of their lives. I mean, a simple thing like check the oil in your damn car.
Exactly.
But now I'll go down to the oil change place, man. They'll do, okay, you're going to pay $129 for them to do something that you can do,
yourself.
And you know, those are the things that I would like to teach them: changing oil, changing tires, and this is like I said, from the age of 6 years old up to 15.
That's right.
how to cook.
All of that.
A lot of
Yeah.
young
All of
girls
that.
now they can't.
No, that's
My
a shame.
daughter, one of my daughters, her kids do nothing. She has a son. He sits in front of an Xbox day and night. He doesn't wash dishes. He doesn't cook. Her daughter now has brought her boyfriend home. I don't go see her. We don't talk. Her boyfriend now lives there. They have a 1-bedroom affordable housing. Her boyfriend lives in there. They take baths together. Honey, if you tried that with me when you were growing up,
Not in my
I
house.
would have beat your ass.
Not in my house. Hey, look, the
I'm
idea would not
shocked.
have been entertained
Totally
in
shocked.
my house. No,
It would have never got
I'm
entertained.
No,
shocked.
Never been
no, it
entertained.
ain't an option.
And
But
I,
I
thank
see
you.
it a lot with parents now. They let the no. You are not bringing a man to my house. If he can screw you, he can get a hotel room. But he's not coming in
get his
my
own damn
And
place.
she allows this. They don't do
No,
dishes. She does all the cooking.
and me and my mom is working on something new too. I told her last week. It's gonna be about parenting for young mothers. A lot of them don't know how to be parents.
No.
and
Thank
they
you.
swear they do.
No, they don't.
And their parenting skills are so far off. And then they it's just, I told her it need to be, Sunday school need to be taken out of church. Since you go every Sunday and you participate, and y'all needs to make a class worldwide for young women to come to church in the morning and get taught
Life skills.
life skills on how to be a
right.
mother, raise the kids, and things to do, things not to do, all of that.
Isn't it amazing that we have schools, technical schools, universities
They don't have all that now in high school.
that can teach you everything about everything except how to be a
Life.
parent?
How to be a parent.
There's nobody with a degree in parenting. We learn from
No.
our own experiences,
Yeah.
how our parents
Right.
taught us or not. Now you got grandmothers at 35, 40 years old.
Man,
You
come
know
on
what I
with
mean?
it, man.
I'm serious.
Come on. You
I'm
right. I
serious.
know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just,
Yeah.
come on with it.
I mean,
I mean,
there's
it's
so
like-
much dysfunction that is being ignored. So, I mean, we're coming to the end of the show. We got about 5 minutes left, and I want you guys to do a couple things before we leave. But
Yes, sir.
I want to try to inspire you one more time. Do not quit. Surround yourself with people who subscribe to the same concept. Put together your peace gang. Let's put it in terms that we can all understand. Put together the peace gang, the gang that's doing positive things. It's an organization. Organize. Have a purpose. Have roles for your members in this organization that you're doing. Okay? The create things that you can sell that people need that will buy from you to help fund your movement in a positive way. I mean, look at the Muslims. They're still out there on the street selling pies.
pies.
yeah,
and
those bean pies.
Yeah, and they're damn good, too.
Well, see,
by
the
the way.
thing, the Muslims are able to structure themselves.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Leg of lamb.
Like a lamb. It's
I
one thing
support
that
the Lakers.
as a street gang in LA is what we can't do. We can't do none of that.
Yeah.
Because of the laws. They'll turn us into an organized entity. And
But,
then
I mean, what's the
they'll
difference-
make up things to say, they'll make up bad things on what we're trying to do positive as a gang. Now, if we denounce ourselves for being from the gang,
Right.
then they won't be able to target us, but it could still be the same gang members. But we'll have to go on the microphone and say, look, we
We're
denounced
legit.
ourselves.
We're not about this that's over here. We're against that.
Totally. We have to
We're
say
not
that.
with that. We don't fund it. We don't believe in it. We're not a part of that. None of that. What we are today is trying to save our community, our kids, our grandparents. We're about the positive things. We've been down that road.
Yes.
We know what that's about. And I'm not about that no more. And these members, the people that are part of this organization, have already paid the price. And ain't nobody out there going to give them an opportunity but us. So we support ourselves.
So,
Okay? When you come out of prison, one of your biggest obstacles is employment.
employment.
Okay? And everybody's going to look down their nose and say, oh, no, he's a felon, man.
Yeah.
No, bullshit. Break that chain. Okay? You find a guy that's paid the price, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's out here to survive. The way to keep him from going back is giving him an opportunity.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay?
Lee.
Period. That's the only way you can do it. You got to stick together, have some compassion and love and feelings for another person that's gone down that road. And in life, I look at it when I'm out there driving for Uber and Lyft, I see signs all along the road. I'm reading them damn signs because they're giving me some instructions. Sometimes it's warnings that some shit down the road is blocked off. I need to know that so I can exit off of that highway before it's too late. And I'll be stuck in
Right.
traffic. I see the speed limits. I see all kind of signs.
see where
There's
you're
signs in your life
You need to be
that
able
you
to
need to
notice.
read those signs. And when you keep ignoring those signs, you're going to go backwards again. You're going to get stuck in a traffic jam. You're going to end up back in jail. You're not going to have the opportunities that you want and need. So you guys, and guys like you, have already been down that road. You've seen those signs. Sometimes you ignored them. Sometimes you read them. Now you have consumed all of that information. You know what not to do now.
Of course.
And now you know what you need to do. And that's pulled together.
Lee, there's still
I
people
agree with you.
coming in
Very
saying
good.
the
Very well
screen's
said.
frozen and they're not
And
getting
They
the
need a
audio.
new computer.
And it's one thing before we close, I would like to say, if you don't know much, you can't do much.
That's true.
So what I'm trying to do is learn as much as I can about the avenue that I want to travel, and so I can bring some more people along with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a great message, man. So listen, don't be a stranger. Come back and
Oh,
tell us
no.
how you're progressing.
Yes, sir.
And give them information on how people can get your book.
Oh, yes. Again, my book can be bought on Amazon.com, or here's the phone number.
323-750-3592. And the name of the book is The Evolution of the American Home Terrace.
Yeah.
See?
The changing culture.
There you go.
Therefore, get the book, and I'll be seeing you.
Thank you, Cedric and Judson, for
Thank you.
being here today.
Thank
And
you.
don't be a stranger. Come back again soon, and let's talk about some other issues and solutions.
Yes, sir.
All right. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the Lee Michaels Show. Carol, you did your A game today, and same with Chris. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. What is today? Thursday?
Thursday.
We'll be back
Thursday.
on Monday. We're going to take the day off tomorrow, and we'll do it again here on
I
the
do
Lee
my
Michaels Show.
therapy
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I do.